Welcome back to the channel. This is Oblivion, and we are here with a new update that just dropped. Typically I don't do videos on updates, but because we have the Tele Banner coming up and because there are some insane news I have to talk about, we are doing a video. The first thing we have to talk about is the Hall of Forms, because this is the most stacked Hall of Forms we've ever gotten. This is by far the best Hall of Forms. And if you are looking for a place to spend formulas, look no further. This is by far the best place. First of all, it is Choose Your Legends 4. That means we are getting Brave Dimitri, Brave Claude, Brave Elgar, and Brave Lycithia. All four of these units are extremely powerful. I would say Brave Dimitri is honestly the best Omni tank in the meta right now. Brave Elgar is the best near save and a pretty solid far save as well. Brave Lycithia is a very powerful nuke with the correct build, and Brave Claude is a pretty good unit. He's kind of a mixed phase unit. He's definitely not super meta, but he is very powerful with the right build. So this is insane. This Hall of Forms is extreme value. You can get the exact kit you want for any four of these units. That includes some valuable fodder for Brave Dimitri, Attack Smoke 4 or a Finish skill, or even some good specials, right? And then with Brave Claude, you can go full beast mode, because the thing Brave Claude really needs is some premium skills like Speed Preempt 4, Guard 4. I don't know if Guard 4 is going to be in this one, to be honest, because it just came out. So you can get Speed Preempt 4, you can get Speed Smoke, you can get Attack Speed Unity, really good stuff there. Same with Brave Elgar, right? You can get Near Save, you can get Close Defense 4, you could go Far Save and get Hardy Fighter. This is, whew! This is some premium value for your former soul. And then lastly, we have Brave Lycithia, and the cool thing about her is obviously you can get Special Spiral 4, right? Special Spiral 4 for free is super ultra value. It's ridiculously good value, and she's one of the best users in the entire game right now. Honestly, I couldn't recommend more to spend your former soul here if you do have one. It's probably the best value you're ever going to get. I will definitely be picking up at least 2, maybe 3 of these units, depending on how good my luck is getting some skills. I don't think I'm actually going to get Brave Dimitri, even though I do need 2 more merges for him, and I could use some fodder. I really don't like the Forma Blue outline on my favorite units, and Brave Dimitri is obviously one of my favorite units, so I think I'm going to wait and just use the fodder normally. But for Brave Claude, I definitely have him at plus 10 already, but I want good fodder, so that's a good chance to get him. And then same with Edelgard, and Lycithia is my #1 target though. I'm definitely going to go all in to get her that Special Spiral 4 build. Okay, that's super exciting news, right? Awesome. But let's keep moving on. Let's talk about the new Radiant Dawn banner. So we look over at Elincia, and we have some really good stat line. We have 44-45, which is really strong. She has a super boon in speed, which is really what matters. No super boon in attack, unfortunately, but even so, very solid stat line. Does have some very paper-thin defenses though, right? 18 defense with only 38 HP, and 28 res is nothing to write home about nowadays. So she is purely an offensive healer, really, which is good. That's exactly what we want, right? Then we have Lucia over here with 41-45. The 41 attack is actually kind of low for nowadays standards, which sounds stupid to say, but that's realistic, right? The thing is, though, she has super boons in attack and speed, which is what really matters. Now, the other thing we have to consider is her actual defensive stats, because of the way her weapon works, she really isn't going to be getting much support from things like drives or stuff like that, right? And she can't really rely on defensive specials. So her 29 defense is honestly a bit scary low. I'm a bit concerned about that. Essentially what you're gonna have to do with her is do a raid boss where you are giving her a ton of support that actually just lands on her, legendary Ellie would, right? To give her some real defense, because with that kind of defense, she could get smacked pretty hard. If a brave weapon hits her, right, where that can hit her twice, she's gonna take some damage. Now obviously she can stack a ton of damage reduction. I think she can stack up to 91% damage reduction with Speed Smoke 4, Vital Astra, her weapon, Repel 4, and I think that's it, right? It's 91 or something around there, I think. Damage reduction, which is really strong, right? So that's going to help her a ton. But I do wish that her defensive stats would have been a bit higher. I don't know. I don't know what they really could have done, though, because they've pretty min-maxed their stats to make it as even as possible. Next, let's move over to Joffrey. And Joffrey has a very nice stat line as well. As you can see, 40 HP, 46 attack, 40 speed. The speed is a bit slow for nowadays, but it's not too bad, because he does have a super boon in it, so he can hit 44, and then his weapon gives you up to 11. So he's decently fast, right? His defensive stats are nothing to write home about as either, because Cabs kind of get screwed over on stats. But honestly, pretty nice stat line. And then we have our free-to-play character, Bastion. And as I kind of mentioned, I thought he would be more of a resistance-heavy mage, and I was right. He is not very fast at all. I mean, if you're Satoshi, you can salvage that speed, but for everybody else, you're really not going to be using that speed at all. You're probably just going to go full attack and resistance, to be honest, which is cool. He doesn't have a super boon in attack, though. He does have a super boon in resistance, which is nice, but man, that super boon in attack would have been a lot better. I'm not sure exactly how you're going to use this unit, I'll be honest. They're going to need like a really interesting arcane tome that scales off resistance for him to like really stand out. And then lastly, we have Ludwig, our free GHB unit, who's actually kind of interesting, right? We have an axe armor unit, 44 attack, which is really solid, 45 defense, which is really solid, but 28 resistance, which is really low. And then he has kind of middling speed. So his stat line isn't really optimal in my opinion, right? Like either you really want to go deep into speed so you're a fast unit and you're not getting doubled, or you want to go full defense and res so you can be a really like powerful tank who can hit AoEs. He really can't do either in my opinion, right? He's not fast enough because, you know, 32 speed just doesn't cut it, especially without a super boom. Like that's just not where you want to be. You want to be much, much higher. Okay, and then when it comes to Ludwig's weapon, he has Defier's Axe Plus. It's not really anything great, if I'm being honest. You get pretty much like defense +5, and you inflict defense -5 on the foe, which really isn't much to talk about, right? It's not anything you're going to be happy to inherit. So it's kind of unfortunate that he got such a bad inheritable weapon. Okay, let's move on to Nerboos. I don't know if that's probably incorrectly spelled. We can see her stat line here, 39 HP, 41 attack, 46 speed, 29 defense, and 19 resistance. So she's a very offensive beast unit. She does come with a preference weapon, so let's check that out because that's what really matters. She has Horn of the Land, special cooldown -1 at start of combat. If unit's HP is greater than or equal to 25%, grants attack, speed, defense, and resistance plus X during combat. X equals unit's max special cooldown count times 2 plus 5. So that's really cool, right? So you have a 5 cooldown special. Because of slaying, it will be 4. So it'll be 4 times 2, 8 plus 5. So you can get up to like 13 stats from having a high cooldown special. And then she also gets grant special cooldown charge +1 per attack. So that's essentially like essentially a dual phase breath effect, right? So she can charge to those big specials. And then she also has and neutralized effects that guarantees foes follow-up attacks and effects that prevents units follow-up attacks during combat. So pretty much we have a breath effect, we have full null follow-up, and then we have a ton of stats. So those are pretty good things to have, right? She's also going to be really, really good at Gale Force because she has pretty much everything you need, right? She has the slaying, and she has the special acceleration, and she has null follow-up, so she doesn't have a way to get her follow-up denied. She also has 3 movement, which is great for Gale Forcing, so I definitely expect her to take up that role when she does get added to the game. We also got a nice chance to look at her beast form, which looks pretty cool. She's like pretty much a very fancy goat, right? So similar to Freya running around, gonna do some stuff. Looks pretty cool. I'll have to see the actual animations to get like my final feel on it, but I'm pretty happy with it overall. And the last thing we have to talk about is there is going to be another bonus support pack coming out that you can purchase for $9 in USD, which is okay, right? It's nothing too insane. You essentially just get like a new little haul. It looks nice. Nothing big. Okay, and with that, that is going to be my coverage for the new Datamine coming out. Overall, very nice news, right? Got some great stats for our Tellius characters, and most importantly, an insane Hall of Performance that I'm going to be going very deep on, and I would recommend you do too. But now I'd love to hear from you. What are you most excited about? Are you excited about the Tellius characters coming out tonight? Or are you most excited about this Hall of Forms because you love one of these characters and you're going to be picking them up? And if you do, make sure to drop a comment down below. Let me know which one you will be picking up and what kind of builds you're going to be going for. Lastly, I would like to thank the members for supporting the channel. And if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. This has been Oblivion. I'll catch you all later with more Fire Emblem Heroes.